Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here, former federal prosecutor, with another edition of Legal Update. You know, amidst our public health emergency, the coronavirus, we're trying to keep track of the developing legal issues of the day because those issues will affect our country and the American people. Today I want to tackle what Donald Trump has done recently to not one, but two inspectors general, Michael Atkinson and Glen Fine. First of all, what is an inspector general? Think of an inspector general as a kind of private investigator for the American people. An inspector general is somebody who is on the inside of government, whose job it is to keep an eye out for fraud, waste, abuse, and misconduct by government officials, particularly as it pertains to how they spend our tax dollars. Donald Trump recently fired Michael Atkinson, who was the Inspector General for the intelligence community. Now, we all know that last summer, Michael Atkinson reported to Congress the whistleblower complaint, and that resulted ultimately in Donald Trump being impeached. But Donald Trump didn't fire Michael Atkinson 6 or 7 months ago. He waited all this time, and he waited until we were in the midst of a national health emergency, and that's when he chose to fire Michael Atkinson. The American people need to know, they deserve to know, what is it that Michael Atkinson was working on right now that prompted Donald Trump to fire Michael Atkinson all these months later. But Donald Trump didn't stop there. He also took action with respect to Inspector General Glen Fine. Now, who is Glen Fine? Glen Fine was the Inspector General for the Department of Defense, but even before that, for 11 years, he was the Inspector General for the Department of Justice. He is a long-time, honest, ethical public servant, respected on both sides of the aisle, has served presidents from both parties, and he was named as the person who would oversee how the $2 trillion of taxpayer money would be spent as part of the coronavirus stimulus package. Hugely consequential job. Making sure that those $2 trillion are spent honestly and ethically and in the interest of the American people. A week after being appointed to that position, Donald Trump pulled him from that position. In fact, Donald Trump's action in that regard prompted a rare public statement from former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis. Here's what General Mattis said about Glen Fine. He said, quote, "Mr. Fine is a public servant in the finest tradition of honest, competent governance." The American people need to know and deserve to know why Donald Trump yanked Glen Fine from overseeing how those $2 trillion would be spent. These are legal issues of huge consequence, and these are legal issues that we're going to need to track and need to pay attention to, and we're going to need to keep demanding answers as to why this president is firing, is removing inspectors general. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all stay coronavirus free, and I look forward to talking with you for the next legal update.